CNN app.
Now our series, Today at the White House. Today at the White House, President Trump hosted and praised the Saudi crown prince who reigns over rampant human rights abuses. And he defended the Saudi leader against the U.S. intelligence community's assessment that he, MBS, approved the killing of journalist and dual U.S.-Saudi citizen Jamal Khashoggi. It all started like this. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, also known as MBS, was greeted at the White House with horses and trumpets and a flyover of fighter jets, setting the tone for how President Trump views bin Salman, MBS, and the importance of the Saudi Arabian relationship. Those interests including getting Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords, which would help normalize relations with Israel. President Trump says he spoke with MBS about this and got a positive response. The president also said that the U.S. will sell Saudi Arabia F-35 fighter jets. So what about Trump's personal interests? The Trump Organization, run by the president's sons, is involved in major real estate projects in Saudi Arabia, though today President Trump denied any conflicts of interest.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine.
Many critics, of course, argue that U.S. interests do not warrant today's state-like visit or even a visit to the Oval Office, period. 9/11 families united urged President Trump to, quote, ensure accountability for the role the kingdom's government agents and state-run institutions played in providing material support to al-Qaeda and the 19 jihadi hijackers who murdered our loved ones before any new agreements with the kingdom are made, unquote. Here's how that question played out when a reporter asked MBS about it.
Osama bin Laden, he used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation.
Not exactly an apology or accountability. In general, these days, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is not exactly known for having a stellar human rights record. Yet President Trump, on the other hand, he seems to think they are known for that.
What he's done is incredible in terms of human rights and everything else.
Now, that's curious, given that the U.S. State Department accuses Saudi Arabia of many human rights violations, including repression of free speech, repression of the press, disappearances, torture, cruel punishment, arbitrary arrest and detention, restrictions of religious freedom, and credible reports of arbitrary or unlawful killings. Of course, the most high profile of all those who were killed by the Saudi government was dual U.S.-Saudi citizen Jamal Khashoggi of the Washington Post. When a reporter asked MBS about this, President Trump jumped in and said, things happen.
The U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist.
He's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Things happen? Here's the thing that happened, Mr. President. In October 2018, while you were president, Jamal Khashoggi, a Washington Post columnist, was, according to U.S. intelligence, killed and dismembered in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul by men with close ties to the highest levels of the Saudi government and Saudi Crown Prince MBS. In fact, the 2021 Office of the Director of National Intelligence report reads, quote, we assess that Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman approved an operation in Istanbul, Turkey, to capture or kill Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, unquote. A Turkish official told CNN that Khashoggi's body was cut into pieces after he was killed. MBS has, of course, long denied any involvement. Today he said this.
About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or not in a legal way. It's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Not nearly as painful for Mr. MBS as it was for Jamal Khashoggi, of course. Doing our best to make sure it doesn't happen, he said. Except something similar has happened again. Just 5 months ago, Saudi Arabia executed Turki Al-Jasser. That was another journalist, this one known for exposing corruption. The Associated Press reports that this time Saudi Arabia publicly leveled charges of various terrorist crimes and accusations of destabilizing the security of society, though authorities did not detail or provide any evidence, according to Human Rights Watch. Still, the nation's high court upheld that death penalty. Look, American presidential kowtowing to the Saudi royal family is an ugly and bipartisan tradition born of geopolitical realities and our national addiction to fossil fuels. But we don't have to go along with the charade about who and what MBS is. Some breaking news on the Epstein files on Capitol Hill. The Senate has just taken up this vote. This is a big development. It moved rather quickly. CNN's Manu Raju is coming up with what just played out next.
Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown Prime Cuts, now streaming exclusively on the CNN app.
This is my mother, Tracy Banks. She just gushes about me to